Hello, this is going to be the last video probably that I do in my hair growth series. It has been 56 weeks since I cut my hair, and this is what it looks like. I'm very happy with it. I may check in every 3 months now just to give you an idea of where it's at, because I'm going to continue to let it grow. I wanted to end this series with 5 tips because I know when I decided to let my hair grow out with the backs and sides and everything, and by the way, just to give you an idea, this is what it looks like. It's very exciting. And just to remind you, I had been letting my hair grow out for probably like the past 5 or 6 years, and I would get undercuts. So the sides and the back would be super short, like almost shaved down, and then the top would be long. But then it just started to look really disconnected and not in a cool way. And now when I see people with undercuts, I'm like, wow, that looks really played out. So I wanted to give you 5 tips for what you should do if you are just starting off your journey, because I know that's what I was searching for a year ago. I was like, okay, what can I do to make my hair grow faster? What can I do to style it as it goes through its various stages? And so the first tip that I want to give you is that there's no miracle way to get your hair to grow longer. There's no supplement that you can take. I mean, the supplements that you take may make your hair shinier. They may make your hair stronger, maybe, but they're not going to make your hair grow out any longer. I tried the inversion method 2 times in the course of the last year, and I showed my results. They were no different. In fact, some of the months where I did the inversion method, my hair seemed to be growing even maybe like a tad bit shorter. The second tip that I want to give you will help your hair get to its goal length a lot sooner, but it doesn't involve a supplement or hanging upside down from a ceiling. And that is, don't cut your hair. You're going to go to a lot of websites that are going to say, hey, you know, if you're letting your hair grow out, I know it seems like you shouldn't, but go in every couple of months and get a hair trim just to clean it up and make it look nicer. And there's just no need for that. There's no need for that. I went to a hair cutter who does my keratin treatments, and I was like, shouldn't I be getting it trimmed every so often in order to get rid of split ends? And he's like, no, Reagan, like split ends happen with girls because there are women, because their hair is a lot longer and it's more prone to damage. It's been around longer, but a guy who's just letting his hair grow out in the first year isn't somebody who is probably going to be getting a lot of split ends and have a huge reason to cut his hair. So I know that if I had been getting just a bit taken off every couple of months, my hair would be nowhere near it is now. So I do not recommend getting your hair trimmed. If your goal is to get it long, just power through. Even if it starts curling in the back, then, and it seems like you're getting a mullet, I would recommend continuing to let it grow. And then finally, when you can get everything back into a ponytail, then, which I'm just about at that point, then maybe go in and get everything evened out. The third tip that I'm going to give you is to get keratin treatments. You've seen me, if you've been following these videos throughout, right after I get keratin treatments, and it really helps smooth out my hair. I am somebody who is prone to have very frizzy hair, and if I don't do any type of straightener, it just kind of goes wild. And sometimes I like that look, but most of the time I like it to lace flat and smooth and look polished like this. So I highly recommend getting keratin treatments. If you're a guy, anybody who is reasonable and fair is probably going to charge you half the cost of what it would take a woman with long hair to get a keratin treatment. They last about 4 months if you use sulfate-free shampoos and only shampoo your hair about once or twice a week. So I highly recommend it. By the way, it's been 4 months since my last keratin treatment. However, I do flat iron my hair once a week, which is what makes it, gives it this like nice mane, this gloss. Okay, my 4th tip is going to be to flat iron your hair if you have out of control hair. If you don't, then you can just skip this tip. So there are caveats to flat ironing your hair. Flat ironing your hair can make it more brittle, it can make it thinner, and so you really want to flat iron it sparingly. I've been trying to flat iron every other week. I think I'm gonna go back to once a week. At first, I started to get scared because I would notice that I would notice the imperfections in my hair. Like I would notice that some strands were shorter than others. So I thought, oh my gosh, maybe it's the flat iron that is like making my hair break. But upon further reflection, I don't think that's what the case is. Maybe that is the case. And if it is, then I'll stop ironing my hair, or maybe just do it like once a month or something. But what I think happens is when you flat iron your hair, you can see the imperfections in your hair more clearly. And because with frizz, you're not going to notice if some hairs are shorter than others or whatever the case may be. And so I started flat ironing my hair again. I think it's where it looks best, but you don't want to flat iron at your hottest heat. The hottest heat is typically reserved for straightening procedures that you would get done at a hair salon, like a keratin treatment. So don't go all the way up to 450, but don't go too low, because the goal is on one pass per chunk of hair, you only want to do one pass. And if the heat is too low and it's not really straightening out, then you're going to have to go over multiple passes, and that can actually do more damage to your hair than if you were doing it at a higher heat. Also make sure you're not grabbing really large sections. Try to break your hair off into smaller sections and just one pass. And then the final tip that I'm going to give you is a really important one, and it is to embrace your hair at whatever length it is as it's growing out. I'm just now starting to get to the end of the awkward phase of my hair. I think I'll be squarely out of the awkward phase when I can tie everything back into a knot into the back of my hair. And the trick is that once your hair starts growing and gets longer and longer and longer, you're gonna have to vary up the ways that you style it. So if you have short hair, it's very easy. You kind of go with the same style all the time. But as it starts growing out, maybe it's going to look good all to one side. Or maybe a center part will look better. Or maybe it looks better when you kind of like let it go a little bit crazier, or if you flat iron it. But the trick is to just kind of like be aware that when your hair gets to different lengths, you're going to have to experiment. You're going to have to get out of your comfort zone with the way that you normally style your hair. So this is it for me. I hope that you enjoyed the series. I certainly enjoyed doing it. It's really fun to go back and look at what I've chronicled and see my hair at different stages and go, wow, gosh, this year's gone by really fast. As they say, kind of like with kids, because my hair is like my baby, the days are long, but the years are short. So I remember in the early stages going through and looking at people who had done videos and be like, oh my gosh, I want my hair to just grow. But now that I'm over a year into it, I feel like, yay, this is exactly where I need to be, and it feels like it went by in a snap. So if I can do it, you can do it.